baie mooi bymekaar.
Ja.
Maar ek dink nie dis waarheid nie.
Nee, ek is nie so vinnig.
Oh. Iemand neem op. So ek neem aan die officiële deel het begin. There you go.
Kan julle sien ons logos en so?
Ek sien die skerm, ek sien ja, is mooi. Iemand hou Selfoon vas met ballonne in die jesem, dit is goed gedoen. En die Brandpunt Foto logo ontplof na die groot foto, na die groot logo bo regs. Wauw, iemand was kreatief hierso. Was dit jy, Tino?
Ek het maar hulp nodig gehad, ja, dankie.
Dis goed man, dit lyk goed.
Okay, dis maar net die begin skermpie. Ek wil net welkom sê vir almal wat ingeskakel het. Dis maar tipies ons Selfoon aand en ons probeer maar elke aand eenmal 'n maand elke aand by mekaar kom. En let wel, dit is Selfoon foto's. Die manne met die iPhone sal natuurlik beter foto's kan hê as die ander, maar dis vir die fun. Hier kan julle sien laas maand se wenfoto's is Michael het die alligator daarso, die Paul monitor daar gehad. Dit is in die oop afdeling en dan in die tema was dit niks 'n mooi foto van die meisie. Net 'n bietjie agtergrond, ek dink is dalk die volgende skerm. Okay, Michael gaan vir ons bietjie gesels oor die glass refractions. Ek het daar so 'n bietjie vir julle 'n sketsie geteken wat dit beteken. Wat jy deur die glas sien is nie eintlik wat jy regtig sien nie. Hy word gereflekteer. Jy kry dit baie met water ook. As jy dink jy sien die vis en jy gaan hom skiet, jy gaan hom misskiet. So Michael gaan vir ons hierdie goedjies gou-gou bietjie vir ons inligting wys en dan net 'n bietjie oor die Selfoon foto's. Dis nie reëls nie, dit is maar wat ons van die mense vir die lede vra. 'n selfsprekende foto uit jou selfoon uit, jy kan hom weer bietjie bewerk, watter sagte ware ook al op jou rekenaar. Die foto's word dan gelaai in Fotovault in. En dit is gewoonlik 3 foto's per aand, per lid, 1 tema en 2 ope. Daar's nie 'n skeiding tussen junior en senior nie, ons kompeteer op dieselfde vlak. Zoom, ek sal weer 'n bietjie, sodra ons met die foto's begin, bietjie meer inligting gee. Wat dit is, sodra die foto opkom, dan sit ek 'n stemblokkie, jy gaan so 'n blokkie sien met 'n klomp nommertjies en kolletjies, jy moet een kies en submit. Ek gee net so 'n paar sekondes om al die informasie te kry, dan gebruik ek maar Excel om die gemiddeld van julle almal te kry. En dan sit ek die telling in op die foto, en gebruik natuurlik top, en dan top wys jy dan wie se foto is dit, en met die telling. En aan die einde van die aand, dan kies ons een wenner tema en een oop tema. Okay, ek gaan nou hier vir Michael vra of hy reg is.
Ek moet dit die korrekte skerm deel. Nummer 2, screen nummer 2, dis hy. Okay, kan julle die skerm sien?
Ek kan hom sien, ja.
Okay. Nou ja, baie dankie vir die geleentheid. Oh, English. Thanks for allowing me to do this. Welcome everybody, our guests from Brandpunt Club and the members of Alberton community in Hermanus. Baie welkom. I tried not to, so today the club asked me to do a little bit of a presentation or educational material about being creative with photos of glass. And contrary to what was in the pre-flight for the opening of the evening by Albertino, I'm not concentrating a lot on technical details. Tino earlier mentioned if you look at the fish and then you harpoon it and you miss it, that is the refraction. But it's a glass property, so you can use anything. So I'm not concentrating solely on refraction. I'm going to give a little bit of an intro, what you can do with glass, and at the end or towards the last third, then I will fall back and explain how I achieved two of my sample shots, and that's about it. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep,
Yep.
dankie.
Okay.
That's fine.
So our next club evening, the set theme is glass, or creative glass. So I'm trying to concentrate on the creative part. So I haven't put a lot of technical parts in. Other reason for that is my wife always says I'm feistling people, meaning I'm overloading them with information. I don't want to do that. She can hear us. She's sitting there, and she puts out a smile. Okay, let's start. So things about glass which can be used in a creative way. We can benefit from the glass properties such as reflectiveness, transparency, other optical properties such as refraction. If used in the right way, you can use it as a magnifying glass. Okay, and then you can also look at glass from a raw material perspective. A little sample is provided in the background. There's a guy in the glassworks in Germany scooping off with a huge spoon the impurities on top of a glass smelt. Yeah, then glass as a subject as such, where you actually combine glass with the material glass as a subject and the glass as a material. The glass as a magnifier, as earlier stated, using one of its optical properties to enlarge things or make things smaller or distort things. Then you can use glass as an intermediate medium, where the glass as such is not the main subject in your image. And of course, glass brings some technical challenges to the table when dealing with it because of its optical properties, like nasty reflections all around you. And then just imagine the surface is bent, then you get even more reflections in, like a fish eye. We will leave some notes on glass as a product, as in product photography, and then we will try to be on the creative side and providing a little bit of a walkthrough about two images that I created, and provide background how we got there and what to do in the setup about it. Okay. Glass properties, yeah, hardness and brittleness. It's a hard material, and it has a great impact resistance against an applied load. But yeah, as we know, after tide comes off, so eventually the glass will break. Then there's water resistance, thermal insulation, chemical resistance, not relevant really to photography. Well, unless somebody like Han is still developing black and white images in his own home lab using maybe a bath for developer and fixator that runs in glass buckets. Then we have color and shape varieties, transparency, and the fire resistance glazing. which is more like for tiles and stuff, glass tiles. So we are concentrating on the optical abilities and to benefit from it, like distortion, enlarging, and projecting. That's why I marked it a little bit in a different color. Some examples: glass raw material. So by concentrating on the structures, textures, and geometry, we can actually create an interesting image in a creative way, which might give insight to the manufacturing process. So what you're looking at it here is actually how they make these long glass stems that glass artists like Elise from, let's say, Boho, and also other jewelry manufacturers are actually using those colored glass bars to create their work. Glass as a subject and a material. So we use the optical properties of the glass, like reflection and transparency or opacity, to present our subject. The drinking glass, pun intended, material and subject have the same name, glass, in a visual pleasing manner. Or glass as a magnifier. So here, the main subject is not the glass as such, but it's acting rather as an intermediate to bring out the fruits and the little glass and the little gas bubbles attached to it. So two optical mediums are used here, going from air to glass, then into water, and out of the glass again in the background. And the benefit from using the glass here is also that everything that's not in the center of the glass will automatically be made unsharp, but not in a normal unsharp way as we know it. It looks like it twirls it. And that's because the glass filled with liquid as such itself is acting as a lens. Then we have the refraction property. I put it in under the glass as an intermediate medium. It's almost like the previous image, except that we're using now the refraction to make the main subject pop a little bit more. So the viewer will look at the image and say, hey, what happened to the stem here? And that is exactly what happened, as Albertino on the introduction said it. The refraction that takes place here makes us believe the stem of the fruit commences under a different angle and even in a different position once it enters a different optical medium. We all know that if you put a straw inside a glass of water and look from the side, the straw doesn't go straight through. Looking at it from the side in a section kind of view, it appears there is a little difference and it goes at an angle towards the denser optical medium, so the water-filled glass. That is refraction. Then we have a lot of technical challenges with glass. One of them is dealing with nasty reflections. I have two images here. The original one I marked with yellow, with a yellow highlighter, where we have these nasty reflections that in the later image are rather disturbing, and I basically presented before and after. Sometimes it's better to take images of a glass in a controlled environment, either in complete darkness, and then you apply whatever light you want to, or you're using a softbox, which diffuses the available light without these irritating reflections. Depending on your subject, your softbox might grow substantially, depending what you want to photograph. And then we have glass as a product. To photograph glass products are required to take care of the reflections that present the subject in an equally distributed soft light environment. To achieve this, a softbox is recommended and can be used, which is exposed to a lighting setup, or natural available ambient light, as shown in Martin Barber's example above. I had a good laugh. He gave us permission to use the image tonight. Glass creativity. That is what I was originally asked for to explain. We will use two examples shown here and work through on how to achieve that. The two main properties of glass, acting optically like a lens and refraction, are used here to achieve the desired effect. The lighting was done using total darkness as an ambience to be in full control of the light. So I didn't have any natural light source coming in here. First, the glass setup. When taking glass, images of glass and trying to do what other photographers before us did, we need to understand what is it doing if we fill these glasses with another liquid and what it will do, especially to the background. So the partially water-filled glass acts like a lens, hence makes things appear mirrored and upside down, because that's how the camera will normally take a picture. So although you see the image in your camera upright, on the chip, it will be upside down and mirrored from left to right. And that is exactly what you see here. This only appears below the water level, hence we are getting a checkerboard effect on the background, because from air, glass, we have no distortion, or we have actually no projected image by the means of a lens. It's actually not refraction. And only in the water-filled part, where the outer shape of the glass defines basically our focal length of the lens. The lens sits in here, and your shaped glass, can you see the mouse?
Yes.
The shaped glass will actually provide some sort of a bending of a lens. And it only happens below the water level. And the light source we used here were from top left and level right. Level right, meaning there is no angle applied to the light. It was just it's one source LED light to bring out these little blue stripes here, which are actually caused by refractions. Okay, continued on the glass setup. The two general light setups for photographing glass are black line lighting, which involves a bright background, and white line lighting, which involves a dark background. In the example presented, we use black line lighting. It means the darker rims define the outlining of the shape. And the lights used for that was a three-line magneto LED lantern and a single what you call it, cup half ball LED light coming from the right. I tried to illustrate that here. My LED light was top left up a bit. You can also see that here. The cardboard, the two cardboards, different cardboards that I used here are the brightest on top. The background is actually a A4 colored screw carton paper, which I have taped together to create the blue and the yellow area. Another thing to consider that requires some experimentation, the lens was actually fully zoomed out to minimize the influence of the perspective and to gain distance in order for the background to flip. And for that, I have to actually go back 2 slides. So here is your upside down image again. There's your camera. The camera is a focal length. Every image that is taken longer or outside the focal length will appear upside down. Now, if you move your camera too close to the glass, that flip between left and right and top to bottom will not take place, because the distance between subject and camera might be less the applied focal length. If that happens, the glass is unlikely to show the flip effect of the background. That's already technical, but that's how I can explain it. As I said before, having the water-filled glass is actually like working as a lens. Here, I plugged in the EXIF information of the shot. And for the wooden surface, I used a mobile easel that you actually can fold up. I used the box to gain some height, so I can actually lower the camera to make for a better angle. So what I was trying to achieve, to make these two lines, the back rim and the front rim of the glass, almost finishing or being on top of each other. Yeah. Then I have to say, then I tried another, I gave it another try. This time, the LED light was placed plain and not tilted above, plain from the left, and the LED light remained as it was to the right. But this time I created the background as deliberately as a checkerboard. So I actually made 4 pages, A5, 2 red and 2 white ones. And if you put them together and move away from your subject that you're photographing enough that you actually see the inverse effect of the glass acting as a lens, and that is how you get that cross in the middle. The rest is just a matter of alignment of your camera position, so it all lines up nicely. This time I went down with the ISO to 50, and subsequently to achieve sharpness on the background and on the glass, I had to close the aperture quite a lot, and as a result, I had an exposure time of 13 seconds. You can take it further from there. You can change, for instance, the background to a computer screen where you can actually immediately switch your backgrounds as you please. And as a plus, the computer screen itself also acts as a light source towards the glass. Or what I also seen on the web, which makes for some interesting patterns and textures, is colored patches of corrugated carton. I never tried that, but I touched some sample images that actually show the outcome of that, and I was quite puzzled to see that. Okay, so this is all there is to it. I tried to limit the technical information, not to overwhelm you, try to explain how easy that actually is. You don't need proper studio lighting. I use 2 LED lights, which served me perfectly. And that is what you can achieve with it. Any questions? Thank you.
Michael, the question I want to ask, that corrugated glass in your last sample, where did you source it from? Where do you get it from?
First, the corrugated is, first of all, is not my image, but you can get it at P&A.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Michael, the image, if you can go back to it, where your LED lights on the left, Diane, okay, just go back one. No, other one, forward. No, man, you're going other way. I said, Diane, why is there no reflection in the glass?
Why is there?
No reflection of the light in the glass.
Because I am, the light is applied from the side. So actually, when you look from the top, the LED light is actually in line with the glass. If you move it further back, you will have reflections at the back of the glass, and it will be visible because of the high aperture I use. If you move it closer to the camera, then you will have reflections in the front because of the high aperture.
Because no matter what I do, I get reflections.
I didn't. As long as you align your light with the glass. In terms of
but the other one is from top left. That's not aligned, surely.
If you look from the top, it's still aligned. It's not sitting towards. It's not sitting towards the background or more towards the camera. If you look from the top, although it's from top left, it shines down from top left, it's still in line with the camera. So if you look from the top, the optical axis of the light and the glass are the same.
Okay, I'll go give it a try. Thanks.
Try that. Yeah. More questions?
On my camera, it doesn't go to the ISO 50.
Okay, then you take it at ISO 100, no problem.
At 100, okay.
Yeah. I was just
And
trying
you say,
to, yeah.
And you say the camera mustn't be too close to the glass. How far must the camera be away from the glass? Like
I
a meter?
I can't tell that. It depends on what focal length you use. Here in this image, I used a 135 millimeters lens. So, and I was full out because I wanted to make the background appear dense in relation to the glass, and at the same time minimize the perspective that the wide angle lens has. So the moment your liquid filled glass starts showing the inverse of your image behind it, then your distance is right. If you are too close, then the checkerboard effect that you see here will not appear. You with me?
Okay, I see you also use a very slow shutter speed. So I obviously take it it must go on a tripod.
Come again?
I must put my camera on a tripod.
Yeah.
And I see you use a very slow shutter speed of 13 seconds.
Yeah, that was due to me setting it to 50 to ISO 50, and the LED light is not very bright, so that caused a long shutter speed. You don't have to if you have better lights and you can expose shorter. As I said, the high f-stop is, I wanted to see the background checkerboard sharp, and I wanted to see the glass rims sharp. That's why I pushed it up.
And if we don't come right, we're going to call you.
Come again?
We're going to practice,
Yeah.
and then we're going to call you if we don't come right.
No problem. You're just around the corner. I can even show you.
You make it look so easy, but like Peter says, it's not that easy.
No, it actually is. The only thing you have to worry about is that you don't set up your lights that you have all the reflections on the glass. And the second thing you need to watch out for is that the distance between your camera and the subject you're photographing needs to be of such a nature that you actually have the flipping the lens effect happening. So in other words, turning things upside down and mirroring things. You can even see it in the glass stem. There is that checkerboard again, just more stretched. You can see that.
Yes.
I'm moving the mouse.
We can
Can you
see
see
it.
it? Yeah, it's even in there. So and to achieve that the background is sharp and the foreground is sharp, you use a very small opening, so a high f-stop number. Those three things you concentrate and you will succeed, I promise you.
Thank you, Michael. I think this was a very good explanation how we must go about it. Thank you.
Okay, more questions?
Come people, don't be shy.
It just means that it takes a lot of patience. In photography equals patience. So I've been told.
Ja.
Ja, en jy sal vir ons hierdie presentation aanstuur of op die groep sit, nee.
You know, gaan dit record en dan sal hy dit maar ergens met beskikbaar stel vir almal.
Ja, want selfs die PowerPoint presentation ook, dit gaan ook baie help.
Ja, ons kan dit aanstuur. Ek nie probleem met aan te stuur nie.
Dankie.
Net vir Michael vra as jy alright daarmee?
Ja, nee, geen probleem nie. Wat ek sal doen is, ek sal die PowerPoint in 'n Acrobat document omskep, want nie almal het PowerPoint nie, en dan kan jy dit versprei, okay?
Dankie Michael.
Dan niemand wat nog iets wil vra nie.
Ek
is-
het.
Jy hoef nie. Vra is vry nie.
If that's the case, I can stop sharing.
Yeah, you can stop share. We'll start the cell phone.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Let's
Well
move
done.
to other ones.
Thanks, Michael. It was very interesting.
Who is that now? Stuart.
Cobus from Hermanus.
Oh, Cobus and Hermanus. Okay. Pleasure.
Thanks, Michael.
Right.
Toe maak is hier hoor. Okay, so Michael het vir ons nou 'n bietjie gesels oor die refractions en Michael, as jy sê jy vat die foto, is jy daar,
Ja.
Michael?
Ja, ek is hier.
Jy vat die foto, maar hy is eintlik onderste bo. Bedoel jy moet hom in Photoshop regop sit?
Nee, hy is nie onderste bo nie. Net die agtergrond is onderste bo as gevolg van die glas wat met vloeistof gevoel is en soos 'n lens reageer.
Okay. Jy is reg. Dankie.
Ek het niks omgedraai. What you see is what you get.
Okay. Okay, om terug te kom hiernatoe, so ons gaan die eerste foto maar 'n toetsloopie doen om te kyk of julle almal regkom daarmee. Ek net kyk of ek hierdie foto's vir julle kan wys. Kan julle daai foto sien?
Ja.
Ja. Kan
Okay.
sien.
Yes.
Okay, dit is nou, ek gaan vir die foto se naam gee, dis Midrand se moskee. En laat ek net sien of hierdie polling nou gaan werk. Kan julle die polling sien?
Ja, 100%.
Okay, so julle moet nou vir my 'n score gee wat julle dink is die foto werd. En wat ek doen is ek vat die gemiddeld van almal. Ongelukkig Zoom werk nie vir my die gemiddeld uit nie. Hy sê net vir my hoeveel 12s en 13s en 14s daar is. En ek gee hulle so rukkie, dan stop ek hierso.
Kan jy vir ons comment gee, asseblief?
Ek wil net vir julle wys. Ek weet nie of julle nou dit kan sien nie.
Ja, kan sien.
Ek weet nie presies hoe wys hy op jou skerm nie, maar
Ek
dit is
sien.
basies hy wys vir my daar's 9 uit die 11 wat 9 lede of 9 persone uit 11 het gestem. Daar's 6 11s en 3 12s en dan gaan ek stop share en dan gaan ek na die foto toe en ek gee vir hom die score. Die gemiddeld van die score is 11.3. So ons gaan hom 11 maak en dan kom die persoon se naam op en soos Diane se 11. Okay, Michael, kan jy maar vir ons 'n bietjie advies gee daar?
Kommentaar lewe.
Ja.
Ja, sure. The eerste thing the first thing that springs to mind is that despite it's an architectural shot, all the minarets are aligned, they are parallel. There is it stands out, it's sharp. The background of the clouds provides a nice setup in terms of a feeling of depth. It's even the little gold tops stand out nicely. I personally feel the whites of the clouds are at times a little bit burned out, but it's a Selfoon shot. So overall, it's really very, very well handled, especially in view that the left minaret is so close to the edge. So if that minaret was slightly out or skew, you would see it immediately, and it's not. It's very well done. Thank you.
Dankie Michael. Titel printers try miniature dop.
Mens kan nie die voting ding wegskuif nie, en ek wil nog eers bietjie meer na die foto gekyk het.
Jy kan Pieter.
Jy kan
Jy's
Alright,
om 'n trek op.
ek het hom
jy trek hom op sy titellyn.
Ek het, ja, okay, ek het hom op sy titel getrek.
There you go.
Ek het hom.
Good.
Ottie, kan jy vir ons comment asseblief?
Weer. Ek is nou nie so goed soos julle ouens nie. Dis my interessante foto. Ek hou van hom, die kleure komplementeer mekaar baie goed, die goud op die groen agtergrond, die klein kelkies hier voor met die pink. So ek dink dit is volgens vir 'n kleur is dit vir my baie mooi. Die enigste iets wat ek teen hom het, die bottel is net nie vir my baie skerp aan die bokant nie. Hy is my meer, jy kan sien die fokuspunt was meer hier in die middel, waar jy die refleksie kan sien. Maar andersins is dit 'n goeie foto. Baie kleurvol, ek hou van dit.
Titel 1 in a Million.
Cool idee.
Pieter, sal jy hom vir ons vat, asseblief?
Ek het nie gehoor wat sê jy nie.
Sal jy vir ons comment op hom, asseblief?
Okay. Dus die kleure is baie mooi. Dis regtig 'n miljoen klein whatevertjies dit is. Ek moet aanneem dat die klip in die middel is die 1 in a million. Ek sou egter nie die titel van die foto binne in die foto gesit het nie. Maak nie vir my veel sin nie. Ek sal dit heeltemal uitgehaal het. Okay, jy kan nou sien dit is 1 in a million, maar die titel van die foto of jy sê dit is 1 in a million. So daai titel pla my binne in die foto. Maar die kleure is baie mooi vir 'n selfoon. Ons moet nie verras wees nie, want selfoon is deesdae net so goed soos enige ander foon.
Dankie Pieter. Waar die kraanse en see ontmoet.
Lemmy, as jy kan sien vir hierdie foto. Lemmy nie daar nie. Trevor, do you want to comment on this photo first, please?
Yes, this photograph is actually very clever. If you look at the thirds, you in the middle, the main subject is on the right and it flows all the way through. Then you've got the clouds at the top, which are well not defocused, which is a good thing. And then if you look at the cliffs itself on the right-hand side, it's very sharp and excellent. And the sea is wonderful. So it's really a good photograph, very good.
Looking Hartebeespoort Dam.
Marinda, wil jy vir die eerste keer probeer om iets te sê hierso?
Ek sal probeer, julle net aan my aanvul asseblief. Ek hou baie van die foto. Sy derdes is my mooi vasgevang met die slijm onder by die op die dam en dan die wolke bo. En dan die fokuspunt is maar die wit huis wat daar uitkom. So ek sal sê dis my baie mooi selfoonfoto.
Ek wil net vir julle noem, as julle stem, ek kan glad nie sien wie stem nie, hoor. Dis alles anoniem. So moenie skaam wees om te stem nie, hoor. Asseblief. Donderbuie.
Comment op hierdie foto. Dis 'n lieflike landscape. Jy kan tot ver agter sien die wolke maak hierdie foto 'n baie besonderse foto. Jy kan sien hierdie wolke is nie ingesit nie. Hierdie wolke is afgeneem soos is. Die pad vat jou oog hier voor jou uit. Dis 'n pragtige foto en hy verdien 'n baie goeie skoor.
So 12 vir Eugene. Voldam.
Ek weet of Nick is daar, of hulle kan praat nie, maar Nick, wil jy comment op hierdie foto?
Ek dink is
Hannes, kan jy vir my kommentaar lewer op hierdie foto?
Jy vra so mooi. Ek hou van die foto altyd bietjie plaas. Dit lyk of die foto na regs bietjie tilt. Maar dit is mooi skerp, hulle moet wees, die wit is nie regtig uitgebrand nie, daar's detail oralste, hy lyk skerp oralste. Ek dink hy verdien 'n goeie punt. En ek geraai dis Gerika.
dankie Hannes. Golden Sunset.
Fani, wil jy dit vir ons 'n bietjie kommentaar lewer, kyk of jy dit wil doen?
Maar 'n wagstuk maak hierso.
Ja.
'n baie mooi foto hierdie vir my. Ek hou van die skeiding tussen die water en die wolke, die oranje met die blou. Dit komplementeer mekaar baie mooi. Die voorgrond lei jou in na die vissermanne toe en dan die fokuspunt van jy daar agter is die lig, in die ligte gedeelte in die lig. Alles vir my lyk vir my mooi in fokus en ek dink is 'n baie netjiese foto en ek dink hy verdien 'n goeie punt.
Dankie, Fani.
Die foto se naam is skaafsels.
So, Regina, what is scoffles in English?
Shavings.
Oh, thank you.
Kobus van Hermanus, wil jy vir ons 'n comment gee op hierdie foto as jy wil?
Ek hou nogal van die kleure. Dit is baie helder en trek mense aandag. Een wat 'n bietjie plaas hierdie ding hier in die middel van die foto van regs bo na onder toe. Ek weet nie presies wat dit is nie, maar die ander skaafsels lyk vir my soos aluminium of iets. Maar ek dink dit is baie goed gedoen, baie mooi uitgedink.
Dis koper.
Koper, okay.
Ja.
Dankie, Kobus.
Maldedos.
Hannes, ek gaan gou jou weer pla, as jy net die op kan comment asseblief.
As jy toets my omtrent. So vinnig, enigste my hoofklagte is, maar die foto lyk of hy bietjie oorbelig is, veral daar in die agtergrond. Die huise daar, die linkerkant brand bietjie uit. Die wolke lyk nie regtig uitbrand nie, die brug agter lyk of hy bietjie uitbrand, soos jy die exposure bietjie kan terugtrek, die highlights terugtrek, dink ek gaan met die foto in 'n heeltemal ander klas sit. Maar soos is, dink ek nog steeds baie mooi foto, die oog fokus daarmee op die poot voor. Okay.
Dankie, Hannes. Foto se naam is Live.
Dan wil jy weer probeer?
Dis my baie interessante foto, baie kleurvol. Dis baie helder en duidelik. Ek hou van die horisontale lyne. Dit gee vir my effek aan die foto self en dan die helder kleure van die pop se klere dra. Dis my regtig 'n duidelike foto. Ek hou van hom.
Eensame wilde vy.
Pieter, kan jy comment lewer asseblief?
Ja, hierdie is wat hulle minimalisties noem, is een boom in die foto en soos ek sê, dis minimalisties, maar is baie mooi, die beligting is goed, die wolke agter is mooi gedoen. Ek dink daar's 'n voël wat vlieg daar, of is 'n kollobie foto, of is 'n voël wat vlieg, een van die twee, maar dit jy sien hom dadelik, so dalk haal hom maar net uit. Maar die voorgrond is baie duidelik en die boom is baie, die idee is baie goed. Komposisie is baie goed en soos ek sê, hierdie val onder minimalisties.
Dankie, Pieter. Sneeuwberge.
Trevor, can you comment first, please?
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
Can you comment?
Certainly. This photograph is actually very good. If you look at the focus, is wonderful, and you've got the mountain range traveling all the way through, and the mountain sticks out nicely. The clouds in the background more or less balance it out. If you look at the mountains on the right hand side and the clouds on the left hand side, you get a more of a balance there, and the foreground is very nice. But if you look at this from a color point of view, you've got white and blue, different shades of blue. A very good photograph.
Dankie. Dankie, Trevor. Morning suns through a security gate.
Michael?
Yeah, it's high visual impact upon opening. There is that wow factor, and you look at the shadows and you look back at the gates, and how the heck did the light go through there? It's geometrically interesting. It's visually interesting. There is contrast, as the word photograph, painting with light says. Congratulations, Trevor. I would convert it into a straight black and white. It's actually a marvel. Well done.
Thank you.
Stormwolke.
Ek was bang vir hierdie een, hè. Dit is 'n interessante foto, die wolke. Jy kan regtig sien die stormwolke. Ek weet net nie mooi hierdie in die voorgrond. Wat beteken dit nie? Ek weet nie waar gaan my oog heen nie. My oog wil vir die wolke kyk, en dan trek hierdie stellasietjie hier in die voorkant trek my oog in so toe. So dis vir my 'n moeilike foto om te oordeel. Ek is nie so bedrewe met dit nie, maar dat hy impak het, dat die wolke impak het, dis definitief so. En ek dink dit hoort 'n goeie foto te wees, goeie punt te kry.
Waterkloof kraftbeer.
Annie, wil jy vir ons 'n comment asseblief?
Probeer. Ek dink dit is 'n baie mooi foto, netjies gebalanseer met die geboue aan weerskante, die windmeul hier voor. Vir my dink ek as die kontras kan dalk net so 'n bietjie afkom, bietjie meer detail of kontras te kry in die lig. Ek dink die wolke lig as jy mens die wolke bietjie donkerder kan maak of meer blou in die lig kan sit, dink ek sal dit 'n beter foto wees. Dankie.
Sonopkoms.
Van Hermanus, julle is seker baie van hierdie sonsondergange. As jy kan kom met asseblief.
Ek hou nogal van die foto. Al wat my pla van hom is die swaai aan die linkerkant. Ek weet nie of die fotograaf 'n bietjie meer links kon gegaan het dat hy net heel in is nie. Maar verder die kleure is goed hanteer en mens kan die detail aan die voorkant sien, in die voorgrond sien.
Dankie Kobus. Speel die regte noot.
Asseblief.
Het die naam gehoor nie.
Hannes,
Is julle piek omtrent op my vanaand? Nee, ek hou van die foto, ek dink se baie goeie idee, baie goed uitgedink en execute it very well. Ek hou van die kleure, ek hou van alles is mooi skerp en fokus. Ek dink sy uitstekende foto. Dankie.
Dit was die laaste foto van die ope. Ek gaan gou oorskakel na die tema toe. Tema was miniatuur. Klein goedjies wat jy afneem. Japanese trinket.
It's cool.
Can you help us, please?
Oh, you asking me, Diane?
Yes.
Okay. It's actually a very, very good photograph. If you look at the green item in the middle, very, very clever. And then you got the tortoise at the top. I'll assume it's a tortoise with a shell nicely at the top and a little turkey rib in the side. Very clever. And the white background is also very clever. So it's a good photograph.
Thank you, Trevor. Miniatuur perfume bottles. Miniature perfume bottles.
Dan sommer comment op hom. Is 'n eerlike idee om die miniatuur perfume bottles so te sit. Die blomme aan die kante. Dit lyk amper soos 'n produk. Foto. Die agtergrond is ook mooi, die kleur mooi in. Baie goed gedoen. Ja, nee, knap gedaan.
So 12 vir Karen. ‘n pels vir die beoordelaar.
Pottie,
En dit is my foto, ek kan nie op homself kom.
well, okay, nee, dan kan jy nie.
Ek dink dit is baie oulik, hoor.
Kobus van Hermanus.
Ekskuus, ek moet sê ek is die unmute knoppie gekry het. Ek hou nogal van die foto. Ek is eintlik verstom met die mense of met die foto's wat die mense geneem het hierso. Dit is so 'n bietjie hier aan die linkerkant, dink ek is die skaafsels bietjie uitgewas, maar verder kan ek nie fout vind met hom nie. Ja, is miskien dalk 'n bietjie te veel spasie ook aan die linkerkant, maar andersins baie goeie foto.
Dankie Kobus. Karoo Wetren.
Pieter, sal jy comment op hom, asseblief?
Ja, okay. Ek moet aanneem hierdie is skaalmodel speelgoed. Die met die vliegtuig, ek weet nie hoe die vliegtuig daar in die lug gekom het nie, maar die idee is goed. Die rooi, as jy 'n panning foto neem, is die, ek neem aan dis wat dit is, want die wiele draai, is die karre veronderstel om skerp te wees en die agtergrond moet geblur wees. Jy weet, as met pan, hierdie jet vlieg teen hoeveel 100 myl per uur of kilometer per uur en die agtergrond is nie uit fokus uit nie. Jy weet, dit moet een blur wees want hierdie goed beweeg teen 'n asemrowende spoed. Neem nou weer in ag dat dit 'n selfoon foto is en dat dit miskien nie moontlik is nie. Maar die idee is goed. Ek hou van die streepies agter die voertuie wat spoed aandui en agter die vliegtuie wat spoed aandui. So is 'n goeie idee, maar die blur het nie heeltemal afgekom nie. Maar ek kry nogtans 'n redelike skoor.
Dankie Pieter. So this is what big looks like inside. This is what big looks like inside.
Michael?
Ja, I love it for its simple, in terms of color composition. You get the bright orange on the car, and in the background it's superimposed on the inside. It's an automatic. Not sure what the little 2 dots are there, but overall it works. It really works. The ring of the gear switching area combined, attached to it, the car is such. It visually works. It's well done. Thank you.
What is this above gears, this circles here?
I don't know, Trevor.
Trevor?
If you have a look at the normal automatic, it's the RDTG, and it's reverse drive, and then S for sport to go faster.
I can see that, but there's 2 circular areas where one sees some sort of scratch out stuff.
I think it's just wear and tear.
On what? On the lens that's taking it, because it can't be on the picture.
No, on the gear stick itself, that is because it's quite an old car, and that is the scratching of it.
It looks like it's optical, because they both have the same diameter almost.
Okay.
There's a circle, and the other one is down here between D and R.
Isn't that a reflection from the gear lever?
Yeah, it's possible. But it's not on the car.
I agree.
Okay, ons gaan aan. Tuindwergies.
Oei, hierso. Ja.
Marinda?
Dis my oulike idee. Ek kan sien die fotograaf het op die vlak van die tuindwergies gekom wat vir my baie oulik is. Die agtergrond is mooi uitgewas, maar die tuindwergies voor is baie skerp. So dit is my mooi foto nou. Hy is nie die dwergie self is glad nie uitgewas nie. Die agtergrond agter is daar 'n paar wit kolle, maar geneem in ag dis 'n selfoon foto. So nee, ek hou baie van hom.
See toneel.
Sorry, Hannes, kan ons net daar weer uithelp asseblief?
Wie ek?
Ja.
Asseblief.
Ek het nie die naam mooi gewoon nie, net seker maar. Ek dink by die foto beter sou gemaak het as dat werklik binne water was, 'n visstankie of iets het. Want dit is seker moontlik, maar dit lyk nie so nie. Maar ek hou van die idee, is baie goed gedoen. Ek hou van die kleure, die plan, die visse, alles mooi skerp, die agtergrond is mooi geblur. Die bokant is bietjie uitgebrand, maar nog steeds nie te erg nie. Ek hou van die foto soos hy is, baie goed gedoen.
Dankie, Hannes. Okay, hier is die laaste foto. Broccoli, Stasie.
As jy op hom kan comment asseblief.
As ek 'n raai kan vat, dan dink ek dit is Hannes se foto hierdie. Hannes, as ek reg. Ek dink dis 'n baie mooi foto, is 'n baie oulike idee. Dis regtig baie mooi. Ek is net jammer oor daai pink olifantjie waar daar aan die agtergrond staan, hy so 'n bietjie uitfokus en dit trek my oog nou die hele tyd. Dat ek so toe gaan en sê, "Hey, maar jy's uit fokus uit." Maar verder is dit regtig 'n baie interessante en 'n baie oulike foto.
Die stammetjie. Hy lyk of hy geblur is, maar ek dink hy lyk so. Maar ja, hy moet eerder knoppies voor gehad het.
O, en toe sit Michael, sorry, ek dink dit is Hannes se foto.
Ek het vir some rede vergeet om my foto's te laai. Ek het 'n verkeerde knoppie gedruk.
Okay, dit was die laaste foto. Ek gaan gou probeer. Kan julle hierdie Excel sien? Die spreadsheet sien?
Ja.
Okay, dit is hoe ek maar die scores uitwerk. Ek sit wat julle gestem het hierso, so jy kan sien in die begin was die mense maar skrikkerig. 9 totale stemme was 9, maar in elk geval, dis die gemiddelde score, so ek het dit almal op afgerond. Okay, soos daai sal 'n 11 wees en 'n 11. Alles wat .5 is, het ek op afgerond. So net om vir julle te wys wat ek daar gedoen het. Ons gaan die ope. Wat het nou gebeur? Dit het toe nie gewerk nie. Ope. Okay, by die in die ope het ons 4 wat 12's is, wat is 'n telling van 12 het. Dis Eugene, Golden Sunset, Stormwolke, speel die regte noot. Nou, ek weet nou nie of daai ding gaan nou kan hulle nie die een wys nie.
Los hom daar, wat ons kan vandag stem.
Dis wat ek moet doen. Okay, so daar's 4 foto's. Ek gaan net gou weer vir julle wys. Dis nommer 4, nommer 3, nommer 2 en nommer 1. Kan julle die resultate sien? So foto nommer 2 is die wenner van die ope.
Ja, ons sien dit.
Ja,
Dat ek nou net by hom uitkom. So dit is Salome se foto. So sy is die wenner in die ope. Ek kan net 'n aantekening maak. Geluk so, Salome.
Dankie.
hoe is daar? Baie geluk.
Geluk,
Ja,
Salome.
ek is maar hier jong in die agtergrond.
Laat ek net gou hier filter. Ja, ons het 2 foto's van 12. Is miniatuurbotteltjies, miniature perfume bottles en dan broccoli stasie. Perfume botteltjies, broccoli stasie.
Daar's nou 5 foto's opgestel.
Ja, maar ek is
Ons stem vir 1.
okay.
Daar's 'n 2.
Okay, so ons foto nommer 1 is dan die wenner in die tema. En dit is die parfuumbotteltjies.
Hartlik Karen.
Knap gedaan. Regtig mooi een.
Okay, so dit was
Recording.
Diane, wil jy iets sê?
Ek sê stop recording.